How long until you're ready for your first fight? Some people say 6 months, some people say 1 year. I say time doesn't matter. The time is irrelevant. How you perform and how many bad beginner habits you have is the only thing that matters. My newest fighter signed up for a PMT Muay Thai match after only training for 2 months. Now I'm going to show you the whole fight, but first, if you don't have a boxing gym near you, or you're too shy to go in person, or you're too busy, contact me and I will coach you. I have a limited amount of spots for this, so reach out as soon as you can. I will link my info in the description. All right, so like I've said before, I don't believe in being ready. As long as someone can keep their hands up and cannot fumble around on their feet, that's really all that matters. This is Michael. He started training with me 2 months ago. He wanted to compete at a recent Muay Thai competition, and I decided a long time ago that I would never hold anyone back from competing if they could stay in their stance and they could keep their hands up when things got tough, you know? Especially something like this PMT Muay Thai, you know, it is a competition, but it's pretty safe and it's perfect for beginners. So I asked him if he could make it to the fight camp days, and he said yes. So I told him that we have a lot of work to do. Michael is 21 and works very hard, and he listens really well. Now we kind of decided on this fight last minute because the promoter had some dates change, so we only had 10 days to prep. Now on the first day of the fight camp, I had Michael spar for his first time with Jacob, one of my veteran guys. Yes, it was a test to see how disciplined his guard was and how he did with actual distance management, you know, with 2 moving bodies. And he did amazing. I was super proud of him because, well, he listened to me and he did exactly what I said. He went off balance a couple of times and dropped his hands a couple of times, but compared to anyone else at 2 months on their first spar, he did amazing. Now, I'll be honest, my goal was to have him not only compete, but to do very well with such a short amount of time. And if you watch my other videos, I never talk about winning with my guys because, well, my priorities are executing and performing at a certain standard in a fight, not winning. Now, if my fighters are executing and performing to a certain standard, then winning is just a byproduct. I don't even use that word with my guys. So throughout the fight camp, Michael worked really hard. And I mean, he pushed himself like he was possessed. And here's an example. He hadn't done any running in years, but on the 6th day of the fight camp, he was finishing a 3-mile last man up run without stopping. We did, however, push him a little too hard, and he was also really sick right in the middle of the fight camp. And he is working 2 jobs, so he ended up needing 2 days off to recover right in the middle of fight camp. And this was about a week before the fight. But that stuff didn't even matter because he was able to keep his speed and intensity up for multiple rounds. Now, someone that new usually struggles with keeping their straight punches straight and not getting overwhelmed through the attacks or through the uncomfortable pain of the attacks. So we worked a lot on high volume drills with him. The other big thing with him was that in only 2 months, his first month and a half, he only had class once a week. So we only got to work on basics and fundamentals. So basic round kicks, basic straight punches, basic defense, and a little bit of round punches. Now we did not get to work on clinch, sweeps, catching kicks until the day of the fight when he was warming up. Now, I told him there were a lot of things we didn't get to go over, but I assured him that he had exactly what he needed to do well in this fight. So when we were talking the night before the fight, he was telling me that it might sound crazy, but I want to do something with my life, you know? And I told him that life is shorter than everyone thinks, and he should do as many amazing things as he possibly can. No matter what anyone thinks, I always tell my guys that it takes a very special kind of person to do this stuff. Okay, so the day of the fight is here. It was actually pretty cool. His whole family showed up. And as soon as we arrived at the venue, we noticed that the only other huge guy there was also a southpaw. And he was very tall. And he was from a Muay Thai school. So So while Michael was warming up, we went over a lot of what we thought could happen and just hyped him up to know that he had all that, to know that all he had to do was what he practiced. So basically just forward pressure, straight punches, taking away space to help deter kicks and force exhaustion, and staying steady on the attacks until I tell him to speed up. Because all of our conditioning was for one purpose, and that was to outlast and outpace his opponent. Throughout the entire fight camp, I would tell him that I can guarantee that he was working harder than the guy he was gonna fight. So let's break down his fight here. Now, he kept saying he was nervous before the fight, but I have all my guys jump up and down a lot before the fight and in between rounds, and he said this helped him a lot with the nervousness. All right, so this is us getting him checked in. Now he's going in to get his rules from the official there. See, I'm over there in the corner and I'm super excited. I'm going crazy. And here he goes. He comes in nice and strong, really confident, hands really high. His hands were so high. He was doing everything he was supposed to, pushing forward, taking up space. The other guy couldn't really get any kicks in. And see, every time the official steps in, it's because they're getting too close to the edge there. And since there's no ropes, you know, they don't want anyone falling out of bounds there. Hands are still really nice and high. At this point, I'm so proud of him and I can't believe what I'm seeing. He's pushing the other guy back a lot, pushing him around. Really just acting like a tank, walking through the other guy's attacks. Straight punches are really nice. Lots and lots of straight punches. He's even getting in some kicks there. He's doing really good. The other guy is getting a little overwhelmed. Keeps getting pushed out to the side. When you keep getting pushed out to the side, even if you don't realize it, eventually you know that that's a bad sign. And they both were over 300, I think, so there wasn't too much of a size difference. Michael's still going with those straight punches. Still pushing forward. Hands are nice and high. He's doing everything he's supposed to. He's even kicking. I couldn't believe that he was actually kicking. That, like, for only 2 months and we barely got to work on stuff, he was doing amazing. Nice high guard. That's one thing about the Muay Thai schools, is their guard is usually really sloppy. Their hands are usually really loose. All right, so that's the end of the first round there. So I calmed him down here. And right here, I was pretty much just telling him he needs to take a deep breath and hold that. I was telling him to sit up straight, get a real deep breath in, hold it as long as he could. You probably can't see it on my face here, but I am like ecstatic. I'm so excited. This is one of the coolest fights I've ever seen, especially for someone who just started training 8 weeks ago. He's doing amazing, and I'm telling him that he needs to stay steady because everything he's doing is working just perfect. I'm just telling him to keep doing what he's doing and keep those hands tight, keep those punches straight, because that's all he needs. And then that's all he needs, and then it's gonna be over. And I had him jumping up and down right here. All right, then they go back into it. The other guy came out going a little fast here. The other guy got a little frustrated after that first round, but Michael still kept pushing forward, still moving forward. And you know, during fight camp, we do a lot of what we call like a forward pressure drill, like a stick to him drill. So he's used to not letting his opponent have any space, which is really nice. He did so good there, not giving him any space. See, the other guy wants to kick, but he's not getting any space to kick in there. Keeps pushing him off the mat. I think his opponent's pretty tired. Michael's really tired here already. They had to stop it because he's bleeding. He was bleeding everywhere. I don't know if you can see it in this video, but they had to stop, clean it up. I go over there to fix his headgear. Jacob stayed with him, telling him how good he's doing. I go back over there because this was taking forever. So I go back over there and told him that he's getting a break, that he has no excuse. He's got no reason to be tired. And you can see me over there talking to the other coaches. And I was telling the other coaches how excited I am, that I can't believe that he's doing so well. I was so excited. I was so proud of him. This was amazing. This was a great fight. So now the officials telling him that if he bleeds like that again, that they're just gonna have to stop it. All right, so he comes back in, hands nice and high. Wow, moving really nice. He's nice and warmed up right now. I'm not sure how the other guy lets him push him around so much, but anyways, Michael's doing exactly what he's supposed to do. Still pushing forward with the straight punches. Now we went over a lot of flow drills, a lot of punch kick punch drills. So I think that's why naturally he was kicking right on or after the punches. But you'll see here in a minute where he's throwing really nice combos, the straight punches and round punches. Right here, his head movement, his combos, that straight to the body, round punches. He is flowing. He is in like a perfect flow state right now. Nice. This was one of the most exciting fights there because these were the two biggest guys there at the thing. They're both over 6 foot, both over 320-ish, I think. And he is just pushing and pushing and punching and punching. And that was it there. That was amazing. So he's pretty tired here. Luckily it's over. That means he won both rounds. They don't have to go a third. There was so many people screaming right there. Like I said, he brought his whole family in. The crowd section was behind the camera, so you can't even see where it's at. But yeah, that was it. Like I said, I was so proud of him after only 2 months. So it is possible. It is possible to do your first fight in only 2 months because it doesn't even really matter. All right, so last thing, like I said, if you don't have a boxing gym near you, or you're too shy to go in person, or you're too busy, contact me and I will coach you. I have a limited amount of spots for this, so reach out as soon as you can. I'll link my info in the description.